And guess what this is? This is the final workshop of the 105th Celebration Wellness Week. 105. Len, those are not years, okay? All
I
right.
feel like I've been here for all
I do
105.
too. I do too. But this is the second Saturday, folks. Now, and we're closing out the wellness week of activities this week with none other than the gut guy,
Yeah.
Dr. Len Brancewicz, and myself. You know, we've gone on the road a few times, Len and I, and we've had nothing but standing ovations and standing room only crowds.
Hallelujah.
So we're just getting warmed up. But you know what? The sale will go on through the end of the month. So if you can't get down here today, we hope you do. We've got free food here. And we've got all of the samples and the shakes. The bar's open. Everything's going on. We got a great crowd here today on Saturday. And but the sale will go on through the end of the month. So you can always call in 412-922-9355. 412-922-WELL. You can go on our website, wowpgh.com. Place your orders there or come on down. And like I said, the sale's going on the rest of the month. So you can come on in the rest of the month, too, and celebrate. And we got samples. We got a sample table over here. We've got our friends from Argentine Silver just sent us a boatload of samples to give away from the Argentine 23, the best silver product on the market. So there's lots of reasons to come on down. And we'd love to see your face and wish you a Merry Christmas, of course. So if not, hey, tune in. You know, you can see every one of the workshops on the World of Wellness Facebook page or the World of Wellness YouTube channel. They're all on there. This one will be on there too. Hopefully you're watching live, or if you don't, you always catch the replay at your leisure. So without any further ado, let's bring on the man, Dr. Len Brancewicz. Hey, Len, he was just telling me, folks, that, it's only 80 degrees down there today.
Yeah, welcome to Florida. Welcome to Florida. That's okay. Hey, by the way,
I'm coming in 2 weeks.
Seriously?
I'll be in Tampa in 2 weeks. Yep.
All right. We'll be able to see you.
I'll let you know. Yep.
Okay. Hey, I want to just shout out to everyone living in the Pittsburgh area that's listening. To get down to the World of Wellness today, I mentioned this on Wednesday to all my clients that I've known in Peachtree City, but particularly those in Pittsburgh that have the opportunity to go to a facility like this. You know, I had mentioned this, that back in the day, I designed my office space when I opened up my Peachtree City, Georgia office, much like the World of Wellness. Talking to Jamie, talking to you, and understanding that if you could get under one roof a number of like-minded professionals, chiropractors, massage therapists, all of the different tools that are available, you have a one-stop shop where people can come and actually visit and be able to get tips toward getting healthier. That's what this is all about. So, and then when you have an opportunity to be able to get Nutritional Frontiers products, I can't begin to tell you how I've stressed over and over again in my 38 years, quality, 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 knowing the manufacturer, knowing the people, knowing the education, and to be able to get 30% off products is like unheard of. So take advantage now. And that's why I'm excited about this presentation. We wanted to wrap up the week. You know, during this past week, you all went over protocols, you went over chiropractic, you went over emotional things. There's all the different aspects of health that we were covered during the course of the week. Now we come down to the very last, we're the one that are going to try to hit a home run here at the very end of the week. What we put together, folks, is the top 10 supplement use. My opinion, I put them in priority order. We're going to start number 1 and work down to number 10. So when you're building a foundation, there are certain parameters that I believe everyone needs. And that's why this list was created. So look at it once, look at it twice. I brought Joe on because he is the expert at Nutritional Frontiers about how these products are put together, the efficacy of them. So I'm going to go through the list. We're going to talk about them one by one. And we're going to talk about this building the foundation. This was one that was put together for and by Nutritional Frontiers that took a look at things. And I want you to just look at this very quickly. And you look down at the foundation. You've got to build a foundation. You know, as I was growing up, my mother said, "My God, your feet are big." She would say that all the time. And I wear a size 13 shoe. And she said, "You know what? A strong building needs a strong foundation." So I have a strong foundation. But when you're building the parameters of a nutritional program, food, exercise, supplementation, you need a strong foundation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about building a foundation. And as you work your way up this pyramid, you see in step 2, prebiotics, probiotics, enzymes. Because, and I had mentioned this again on Wednesday, the number one category in every drugstore in the United States, and this is including Amazon, folks, those that sell supplements, the leading category is laxatives and antacids. So when you look at that and say that the majority of people that are stopping at a Walgreens or at a Walmart or wherever are going in there looking for some support for their digestion. Mm-hmm. So when you build your foundation, if we're going to say build your foundation from a supplement standpoint, you got to be able to assimilate it and digest it, and as long as the food. So you go there to step 2. Step 3, you work your way up to this lime green. Macro, micronutrients. You know, we look at the macros that we get from food, the macronutrients that we get from good, healthy food. And, you know, my wife and I just started a new plan to accentuate thermogenesis, and we're trying it on ourselves. And I've laid this out for a few people. You know, the old-fashioned cabbage diet again. We started with shredded cabbage, one little bowl with some vinaigrette on it prior to eating every meal. Why? Because it helps you to pull the macronutrients out of your food. There's a reaction that takes place in your body when cabbage is taken in, strong in prebiotics, goes into the system and helps you to digest your nutrient factors. I've already seen people's hemoglobin A1C, their diabetic numbers go down from 11 all the way down to 6 just by adding cabbage before each meal.
Hey, Len, let me ask you something. What if you made some homemade sauerkraut from that cabbage? Even better?
Even better, because it's fermented already.
Right.
So when you look at this and say, there is a reactivity to good things, good food. I know a lot of people don't like cabbage. You know, we went to the store and bought there's bags already of coleslaw mix. It's dry. Just take a handful, put it in a bowl, and add some balsamic vinegar to it, or balsamic vinaigrette. It's wonderful. Just about 3 ounces, a small amount prior to your meals. Helps you to assimilate macronutrients out of your food.
Mm-hmm.
Micronutrients.
You know, Len, I got to tell you, I love this. This is a great tip because, first of all, you know, you can use the purple cabbage, and that's even better, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And you know what? You know me, Len. I like to dabble in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. One of my rules of thumb is never buy something that's overly handled and processed, like fruit in a bag that's already cut up into bite-sized pieces, right? You know, even like your coleslaw mix, I would rather cut it myself. So I'm eliminating a couple of processing steps.
Yes.
Right? Do it yourself.
Just and to buy a head of cabbage this time of year, it's the end of the season. So cabbage is at a lower price. It's so easy to cut it up. It stays fresh in the fridge, put it in a bag, have it there, and be able to add it before your meals. So again, in step 2, the micronutrients are what are not in the foods today. That's the unfortunate thing. You know, our friend Farmer Pete has told me over and over again, he's farmed the same land right there for almost 40 years. There's a point where you have to add some of these micronutrients back to the soil, but in most times, what you're buying in grocery stores that is not organic, you're finding less and less micronutrients. That's needed for human physiology. So when you look at step 3 on this category, you got to put it back in. And that's where we look at the ultimate shake. We look at a couple different things that you're going to see on our list. These are putting the micronutrients back in.
Right.
Work our way up. Essential fatty acids. Why are they so important? Because they offer what's called a double bond in their chemical structure. When double bonds break, when we digest them, it releases energy, and it helps the body to assimilate other fats. They're cardioprotective. So when we look at working our way up this foundational category, when you get to this point, those essential fatty acids help the bloodstream to move smoother, helps to support heart tissue, and your brain is about 70% fatty acid. So again, you take these, you make sure that the heart and the brain are in sync, taking care of the body. Work your way up. Phytonutrients. These are the ones we get from colorful fruits and vegetables. These are the reds, the greens, the purples. And again, putting these in as cofactors for transport of other nutrients, putting in nutrients that help the body to assimilate glucose on a better basis so that we're able to assimilate and produce sufficient energy. So we worked our way up: a foundation, digestion, macronutrients, micronutrients, essential fatty acids, then into the phytonutrients, which again, there's a whole myriad of those that you can use. They all deliver those fresh parts from the fruits and vegetables. And then the top, to me, it's the top of the pyramid, is our relationship with our maker, with God. And again, making sure from a wisdom standpoint, mind, body, and soul is in sync with you, so that your relationship with your maker is clear and that it's part of this entire process. It's a body that we have on loan right now. This isn't our body. God loaned it to us to take care of during the time that we're here on earth. So again, it's critical to follow a pattern like this so that you take care of that body and respect that body for what it is, because it's really not yours and you've got to take care of it. And that's the purpose of what we're doing today. We're going to go through this list, folks, and I want you to write it down. Here's the foundation. I'm going to throw this back to you, Joe. To me, every single patient that I deal with, whether I'm dealing with acne or I'm dealing with cancer, or if I'm dealing with cardiovascular or I'm dealing with diabetics, my foundation, my big foundation now is this particular product, the Ultimate Shake. If I can start a person on this prep, number one, and let them take this for a couple days to a week to a month, you're going to see improvements in complete human physiology. Mm-hmm. Joe, talk to us about the Ultimate Shake.
Yeah, and this is our. We've done shakes. We have Best Way, we have the Super Shake, we have the Keto Shake. This one was the first one that we can call complete. That's why we call it the Ultimate Shake, because it provides all of the macronutrients that you just talked about, and it provides a full vitamin, mineral component, all the micronutrients that you should be getting from a perfect diet, but you don't. So even if you're eating 100% organic, like Len said, the soil is depleted. So you've got to get these micronutrients from supplementation. This is by far the best one-stop shop to get macro, micro, and additional liver support. And that's important, because if you are eating the standard American diet or any part of it, then you're getting a lot of chemicals. You're getting a lot of things that should not be considered food, and your liver is overworked trying to process these things. And that liver then, if it breaks down and it can't process toxins anymore, where do those toxins go? Well, they're going to reside in fat cells. They're going to cause toxic buildup. You're going to cause weight gain, because you cannot burn these cells as energy if they are loaded with toxins. So there's a cascade of events that will happen. So you have to get the macro, the micro. Now, the macronutrients are protein, carbs, fiber, and fat. Yep. Okay, and you get all of those in here, and you get them all from clean sources. And then the micronutrients are your vitamin, mineral component that you should be getting from your food. So there's no better place to start. And you know what? It took a formula like this to replace Len's other foundation formula as number one. And I'm sure he'll get to that in a little bit. I won't let the cat out of the bag.
And again, when you look at the Ultimate Shake, we're getting about 16 grams of protein. So this isn't one of those high protein things that a lot of people sway away from, or they don't like the taste of pea-based protein shakes. This is pea, rice, and pumpkin as a protein source in here. And if I could say one thing about this, more than just the efficacy of what's in it, when we came down to a pineapple coconut or a vanilla source, I like the pineapple coconut. I mix it with some almond milk, it becomes a full meal. It is my breakfast 6 days a week. Typically on Sundays, my wife and I will go out to a breakfast. But again, Monday through Saturday, I am having this as my breakfast. I will use this to take my other supplements. It has given me all those nutrient factors. And in my world, it's helped to support all the detox pathways, all the nutrient factors. It's given me energy. And those that are trying to lose some weight, it fills you up to the point where you can last yourself through the day without craving foods over and over again. So,
and one of the things that Jamie says all the time is that you know what you're getting in this. Okay, you know what you're getting. It's right there on the label, and it's a complete meal. And it's our very first full, 100% full meal replacement. I don't even like that term, Len, meal replacement. Enhancement, I like better.
That's better. I like that better.
Yeah.
Or in addition, if you're having a bowl of oatmeal or some eggs for breakfast, there's no harm in having this with you and maybe drinking it over the first couple hours of the day to put these nutrient factors into your body. Now, again, we made this number one. I made this number one. Okay. This is the list that I put together because I feel if you're going to build a strong foundation, you got to start with the right food sources, as this is. Get yourself started. So again, if you're listening to this and you say, well, I'm taking 6 supplements right now. Did you start with the Ultimate Shake? Because if you want to take those 6 that you're currently taking, or those 5 or those 2 or whatever else you're doing, you add the Ultimate Shake as your first thing in the morning, you're going to see an amazing change in your body. You're going to start feeling different. And I will tell you, folks, I'll start somebody for 30 days, and I'll bet you close to 100% of the time at the end of that month, they'll call and say, is it okay if I continue to take this? I want to stay with it. So we'll have somebody put that on their direction sheet for them. But after the first month, people usually stay with this and keep this as a foundation moving ahead. So that's number one, folks. Write it down. To us, one of the most important. Here's number 2. And there's a reason here. I've been a huge believer in keeping your detox pathways open and mitochondrial health. Those are 2 big factors coming from my background that are extremely important to help the body stay on task. Glutathione, to me, is one of the most essential nutrient factors for human physiology. It keeps your cells clean. It's the ultimate detoxifier in our cells. The highest reservoir in our body of glutathione, which is produced by your liver, is the brain. It protects the brain from trauma, from infection, from processing. So everything seems to work better. Second highest level of glutathione in your body is in your lungs. It was amazing when we had the COVID factors that I used this prep to help people support their lung functionality. If they were coughing or they were having difficulties, boost glutathione. And Joe's going to talk about the ingredients in here. This particular prep, which I add to my shake every morning, increases glutathione in the body. The third highest levels in the liver and kidneys. So when you're looking at supporting brain, lungs, liver, and kidneys, and you want to really support the human body, this becomes one of the most crucial factors. So again, if you're building a foundation, we start with the Ultimate Shake, and then we add the protein greens to it. And the new one, which comes in chocolate, is unbelievably good tasting. This, to me, sets the stage for an improvement in human physiology in a very short period of time. Joe, your thoughts on Proline Greens?
Oh boy, this is a formula that it's been our number one seller for years, and it's a good reason. Number one, it's the best tasting greens formula on the market. We've done so many taste tests at conferences, at trade shows, here, all over the place. Nobody can touch us for taste when it comes to a greens formula. And as you said earlier, Len, you said, look, sometimes I'll have my Ultimate Shake as a beverage with your meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I do that with the greens.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll just have a glass of greens to go with my grass-fed steak. Then I got a good meal. All right. But glutathione is your body's master antioxidant. Nothing works without it. And during the event last 3 years,
Yeah.
They said the people that were the sickest, that died the easiest, had the lowest levels of glutathione in their body.
After that. Hmm.
Right. So, what do you do about glutathione? Now, over the years, it was very hard to take orally. You couldn't get it absorbed. Last few years, they were coming out with liposomal versions, a little bit better,
Terrible tasting too.
but terrible tasting. Tasted like bad eggs.
Yes.
Okay, so but now we have, and credit to our team, to Jamie and Zach Dorley for finding this at the Supply Side West a couple years ago, and it's an ingredient called Emothion. Emothion is the most bioavailable form. It's patented, researched, trademarked, and it is the most bioavailable form of glutathione on the market today. They did the tests. Why do we use PRTs, patented, research, trademarked ingredients? Because they did the tests. They do the studies. They have the results. And better than even all of that, they publish the results. You have published results that show that this does what they say it's going to do. So that is a key component of this formula, not to mention all of the green food that's in there, the probiotics, the prebiotics. It in and of itself, minus protein and fat, is a complete nutritious meal. That's why I use it as a beverage with meals. And like I said, it tastes absolutely fantastic. If you mix it with the Ultimate Shake,
It's fabulous.
oh boy. Now, not only do you have all your micro and macronutrients from the Ultimate Shake, but you got your phytonutrients
Uh-huh.
from your lean greens and your glutathione. So unmatched in the industry. And then why, it's the best tasting greens, but yet we still came out with a chocolate version.
And I know I'm sitting here, it's 80 degrees here in Florida today, and you are all going to have snow tomorrow. What a better way to sit around the fireplace tomorrow and watch it snow. And I'm allergic to snow, so I have to say, watch it snow.
Is that why you left Pittsburgh, Len? Okay.
Make yourself a cup of hot chocolate using this.
Yeah.
Not only are you improving your body, but it tastes great. And you can sit around and have a cup of hot chocolate and just do it. Heat up just a slight bit of your almond milk, mix it together, or use whatever vehicle you want, and it works fabulously. Okay.
If you want a chocolate bomb, you get chocolate almond milk or dark chocolate almond milk, which you can get. Yeah. Add these chocolate greens to it, and if you're a chocolate lover, you're in heaven.
Well, and think about this too for kids. Most times we talk to the parents, and the mom will come in and they'll hear about this or they'll see this, and they'll pick up a jug of this for the family, and mom takes it. Well, dad doesn't, then we finally maybe get dad to take it. Think about this and having a chocolate drink. If you could get your kids to do one thing, if you could get your 7-year-old to do one thing, mix him a glass of this and some Ultimate Shake and do it once a day, and watch the improvements in his functionality or her functionality, brain functionality, attention, attentiveness in school. You could start feeding the body some nutrient factors, which are unbelievable.
Well, Len, it's a lot easier to get them to drink the chocolate greens than it is to eat their greens.
That's right.
Yeah.
True. All right, number 3 on the list. So far, remember, if you haven't started with the Ultimate Shake, you need to get there. If you didn't start the greens, you need to get there. That's part 2. Part 3, need a multivitamin. We talked about getting the micronutrients back in. Now, let me just make a comment about multivitamins. First question I ask somebody, if they're new to me and we're getting together and we're chatting, and I said, let's go over that list of what supplements you're on right now. Wow, I'm taking a really good multiple vitamin. And I said, here's my one question for you. And I don't doubt that on paper, it looks good. Okay. But is it a tablet or a capsule? First question I ask, is it a tablet or a capsule? And they said, well, why do you ask? And I said, because about 90% of pressed tablet multivitamins do not dissolve and don't really deliver. Maybe 30, maybe up to 40% of what they say on the label. If I'm going to take something, I want it in a capsule, and I want it to be bioavailable in an easy to swallow vegetarian capsule so that it gets through the digestive system and delivers those micronutrients to the body. The body can feel this right away. If you're looking for energy, you start something like the Frontier Multi. Right now, it can make a huge difference in your energy levels right off the bat.
Len, we did some experiments in years past with some of these mega multis that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know which ones I mean?
Oh, yes.
The mega multis that are out there. There's one for men, there's one for women. Big,
Silver
yeah,
one.
yeah. Well, all we did was open the bottle, take out a tablet, and we tried to break it between our fingers. It would not break.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't break that tablet easily between your fingers, it's not breaking down in your body. Okay, so there's only one tablet left in the entire Nutritional Frontiers line, and that's our Super Cal Plus, and that's only because people love it, and the tablet does this all very quickly.
Right.
But we have it in a capsule version as well now. But yeah, you're right. The days of those big old horse pill tablets, hopefully they're gone forever.
And we also, when Nutritional Frontiers has had this product, the Frontier Multi, and I started, this was the one I took for a long time, but then we branched a little bit.
Yes.
Those at Nutritional Frontiers said, how about if we take this and accentuate it for a man or accentuate it for a woman? Again, to add those other critical factors that in a man supports prostate health and testosterone production, and in a woman can help with the excretion and balancing of her hormones. So we've got Frontier Multis for men, Frontier Multis for women. Again, two other adjuncts to the multivitamin world within Nutritional Frontiers.
Mm-hmm. And, I just had somebody here today in the store, a lady that she was looking to get some iron and some B vitamins. And then she said, I need a good multi. And I said, well, the Women's Complete has iron in it. It has a patented research trademarked form of iron called Ferrocal. And it also has all the methylated B vitamins and everything that she needs for women's health. So we were able to cover everything she needed in one formula, Women's Complete.
And Joe just made a point. Hopefully you heard it. The methylated form of the nutrient factors. We have done numerous talks, numerous lectures on methylation pathways in the human body and how critical it is for good red blood cell health. You see, are your red blood cell counts good? When you go to see your doctor, he does what's called a CBC on his blood work, complete blood count. He wants to take a look at your red blood cell count, your hemoglobin, your hematocrit. How healthy are you from an infrastructure standpoint? If you're taking these types of preps, you assist the body in the normal production of red blood cells and even white blood cells so that the body can stay healthier and your defense mechanisms go up. So again, if we even stopped right here and you said, okay, Len, Joe, I'm done now. What's my foundation? Ultimate Shake, greens, and a multi. You will be light years ahead even if you stopped here. Now we're going to move on because I feel the list needs to be accentuated even beyond this. Here's the fourth one. And we talked about this on the pyramid. Fish oil, omegas. And inside of this, Joe, is some of the newest of the news called SPMs, and we're going to talk about that. But I love the fact that omegas, fish oil from non-pelagic fish. Never heard that term before, did you? Non-pelagic. That means that they aren't caught right off the shore. If we're going to worry about what is in the oceans and in the waters and the potential for mercury and all these other issues, you got to go to the deep waters to catch the fish, sardines, mackerel. When we go really deep, they become the much more quality form of raw material that's taken in for the production of these omegas. And again, critical factors, filtration and balance. And I want to make one other point is the omega-3D, adding the vitamin D right into the fish oil, another way to get your vitamin D into the system, but it's comprehensive and it helps to balance that fish oil to keep it in its right mode.
Absolutely. We even had somebody come in this week who said, do you have an omega-3 with 1,000 milligrams of fish oil in it? And I said, yeah, they all do. It's what's inside that 1,000 milligrams that counts, because most of the ones that you'll see in the big box stores, they're going to be the 1812 version. And that's not the year 1812, but it's 180 milligrams of EPA and 120 milligrams of DHA. Now that's in that 1,000 milligrams of fish oil. So now you're at a total, okay, of what, 300 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other 700?
Fish oil.
But what kind and what is it and how bad is it?
Doesn't deliver a thing.
Doesn't deliver a thing. It could even be harmful if it's loaded with omega-6s. So in the omega-3D, it's the highest concentration per soft gel of any omega-3 out there of EPA and DHA. You're getting about 900 plus milligrams of EPA, DHA, 3 times what you get in the normal box store versions.
And if you look at it, and we've done this one before, where we've actually gone to some of the mass retailers and bought their big jug of 240 capsules for $19.95. And we did a cost analysis that said, if you're supposed to be getting 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams of total DHA and EPA each day,
that's right.
How many capsules is that going to take? And we did the calculations. It was anywhere from 10 to 12 capsules a day of the big box store form. And again, who's going to do that, number one? And number two, when you price that out, it made that $19.95 bottle of fish oil actually more expensive on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
Now, I just want to mention this because this is near and dear to me, is the fact that inflammation has been now surfaced as the number one link to all, ALL, all breakdowns of health. No matter what it is, from cancer to skin tags, you name it, inflammation starts. It starts that cascade towards something. So in an attempt to find more potent anti-inflammatories, and I'm going to go back to German research back around 2020, when they started to do reactivities on fish oil to see if you could bring out what are called resolvins out of that fish oil. Anti-inflammatories, more enhanced anti-inflammatories. And by doing all this research, they came up with something called specialized pro-resolving mediators. Mediators meaning that they get involved in a step in the human body where these inflammatory markers are produced. So if we look at a chemical reaction, it says if you have this plus this plus this plus this equals inflammation, it gets involved at step 3 and says, no, I'm not going to allow that to happen. So you actually can interfere with the production of inflammation in the body. You don't want to totally shut it off. It's a defense mechanism, but you want to be able to calm it down and help the body to stay more functional by lowering inflammation in the body. I had my reaction with SPMs when I had some broken ribs.
Yes, I remember that.
I tried everything from Percocet to morphine, and it wouldn't stop that pain. I couldn't breathe. Tried the SPMs, and I went to 2 capsules every 4 to 6 hours. The pain resolved. And not only that, but SPMs seem to have that capability of promoting healing factors within the human body. And in 2.5 weeks later, my ribs were back to normal. So,
no, that's the healing factor, Len, is the positive side effect of these SPMs, and it's because you're resolving, is just as the word says, an inflammatory process that cannot be shut off normally by your body, because these are usually for systemic inflammation issues throughout your body, not an acute inflammatory process. Like Len said, that's a defense mechanism, right? You bang your knuckles and they swell up. That's your body protecting that area. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about an inflammation that you can't normally see, which you can feel it a lot of the times, but it's not visible. This is usually more systemic, and that means throughout the body. It could be anything from chemical inflammation caused by chemicals in the environment and in our lifestyle. It could be from drugs. It could be from a long-standing injury that just never healed properly. That's why these things are so powerful. They resolve that inflammatory process. Now, here's a nice little clinical pearl, Len. If we had all the omega-3s in our diet that we needed, and we were taking them and we were getting them we were eating 3 to 5 servings a week of really good fatty fish, and we were getting all of those omegas, we'd make enough of these pro-resolving mediators. But unfortunately, what's one of the most deficient nutrients in the world And
It's
that's
fish.
omega
We
3s.
just we
Right.
don't eat fish. Exactly right. And I'm going to even give you another clinical pearl on this. We watch the news and we say something's brewing over in China again. It looks like the push is on for the jab again. You got to get this new updated uh, vaccine. I'm not going to go there right now, but anyway, if you happen to do a Google search and type in specialized pro-resolving mediator, type that in, followed
Mm-hmm.
by the word COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and look what comes up. You'll find that in Europe in particular, where this started, that these were used as treatment to lower the response of COVID, to shorten the duration of COVID in the human body. So
Mm-hmm.
again, if you're sitting there on the fence saying, what can I take on a regular ongoing basis as far as my foundation goes
Right.
that might offer a level of protection against COVID? Here it is, SPMs.
No doubt about it. This is, ingredient of the year. I mean, supplement of the year. Maybe the decade. Dr. Bob Rakowski always says this. This could be, this century's most important new addition to supplementation, and that's SPMs. That's how important they are, folks.
Let's go to number 5. We're down to the 5th in that list. And this is, again, my favorite. If you go back to Linus Pauling and you
Yeah.
look at human physiology, and people have asked me before if I got stranded on a desert island somewhere and I could only take one supplement with me because I couldn't carry a whole bunch, it would be my buffered vitamin C. And again, the biological functions of this, and in particular, I love the fact that it is one of the critical cofactors for the production of collagen in the human body. When you look at people that are concerned about aging, concerned about muscle mass, concerned about tearing a tissue, you see these football players that do this. And again, another critical cofactor for maintaining our iron levels in the body. I like it because, as the label said, it is advanced immune support, buffered forms of vitamin C. This is not ascorbic acid. It is ascorbic acid that has been buffered to calcium ascorbate, a human reaction that takes place and can help the body and the body's immune system to stay stronger longer.
You mentioned Linus Pauling, and he is the father of vitamin C in this, in the world. And the amounts that he used to take were incredible. But one of his students was a doctor named Dr. Matthias Rath.
Mm-hmm.
You remember him, Len?
Oh, yeah.
Wrote a series of books on the importance of vitamin C. One of them was, why don't animals have heart attacks? And that's because they all make their own vitamin C. There's only humans, I think a guinea pig, and a couple of birds in the entire planet that don't make their own vitamin C, and we're at the top of the list. So it is an essential nutrient.
Now we're at number 5, and we're going to move on here till number 6. Number 6 is one of the critical factors. It's a gift from God. It's called sleep. When you look at some of the statistics that are out there, Joe, that they're now saying because of all the nonsense that's going on in this world,
Mm-hmm.
we have all these different things with wars going on and everything. People are so stressed out
Mm-hmm.
that they're saying now 90 to 91% of females over the age of 40 are taking some pharmaceutical to calm them down. An antidepressant, Xanax, something along the way. Almost 90% of men doing something to help sleep. So when you look at this and you say, my goodness, if I can rest at night and I can get that 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep, you can say, well, oh boy, I haven't had that in 20 years. There are certain nutrient factors. And to me, one of the first preps that I had a hand in helping to design was sleep time.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun with that one. It's one of the best products. I take it every day. I've been taking this for going on 10 years now. It is amazing in the way that it helps to support dopamine, serotonin, and even GABA so that you can get yourself a good night's sleep. Sleep's a gift. Make sure you're getting it.
Well, I'll take it a step further. Then it's a gift, Len. I've heard it referred to as your body's life support system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, remember the old Star Trek shows? They, when the ship would be in danger, they made sure life support systems still worked.
That's right.
This is your body's life support system. Everything that needs to heal, repair, be replaced, and replenished happens when you sleep. And you got to get into a REM sleep. And that's the key. Most people don't. And here's a clinical pearl. If you take a sedative, an over-the-counter sedative drug, you will not get into a REM sleep because
Right.
it's knocking you out. It's not putting you into a deep sleep. There's a difference between sedation and REM sleep. And so what these formulas were designed to do, one's a daytime, that's calm day, one's a nighttime, that's sleep time, same base formula. A little bit extra in the sleep time for sleep, for falling asleep, but the key is staying asleep. And that's the most important part. And it's that calming of the racing mind. That's what's keeping people up or waking them up. Now,
Joe,
one
wait,
more-
wait, wait,
one more.
Joe, what happens? I wake up 2 or 3 times a night to pee. What's going on there?
I was just going there.
I
See,
know,
these
I can
great
see you
minds.
going there.
Great minds think alike, right? Guess what? You don't wake up because you have to pee.
Right.
You have to pee because you woke up.
Amen.
There's a
Write
big,
that down on your refrigerator,
difference.
folks.
big difference. Yes.
So when I hear somebody say, you know, I wake up twice a night to go to the bathroom, I said, you're not sleeping. You
That's
need
right.
help there. And these are some of the preps that could do a great job. Here's another clinical pearl. I had to do some investigation, but I have a dog that is very anxious. We started him on Calm Day twice a day. I open up a capsule and I put it in his food, and he has it morning and night. And you know what? He's so much calmer now. He doesn't growl. He goes about his day and he's feeling really good. So again, ran it past my vet. He said, hey, if it's working, go right ahead. It really works well. So again, safe to use even in a dog.
And children. We have another pharmacist, Dr. Mack, down in Florida, who used it with his child. 5 or 6 year old boy, couldn't get to sleep. All this turmoil with schools and shutdowns and masks and all that crap. And so he took a sleep time capsule, opened it up, mixed it with a little juice, and he had a little syringe and just squirted it in his son's mouth, and it fixed the issue.
Amen to
Kept
that.
him asleep.
Let's move on to number 7, the foundation. And I'm going to go way back in time, back when I was at the University of Cincinnati with a Dr. Jim Laval, whose name will be surfacing more in the near future. And we sat together, and he was doing some investigations at that point about adrenal glandulars from a cow. And again, taking a look at using adrenal glandulars to support the human stress response. So let me ask you a question. Are you stressed? Are you stressed? Are you dealing with things on the wrong basis? Does your heart race? Is your pulse rate up? So to me, this is a new product for Nutritional Frontiers. I just got my bottle the other day. I just started back on it along with Adrenamax. I'm taking them both together, getting my focus, concentration, and energy back into that, how I used to feel when I was 25 or 30.
Ooh.
I'm telling
That's
you, it can make an amazing change. This glandular prep is fabulous.
Nice. And it is, we've had, like you mentioned, Adrenamax, right? This is our first attempt at an adrenal glandular formula. So why did we use the glandulars? Well, first of all, they're New Zealand glandulars. They're the safest, most effective ones on the market. But what it does is it stimulates the adrenal gland to on a different level than just supplementation will with herbs and nutrients. So it helps mimic, and it helps for the gland itself to work more efficiently by providing the enzymes and different nucleic acids that gland needs, in this case the adrenal gland, to work properly. And it does it instead, like with allopathic drugs. You know what they do? They take the place of that glandular function, whereas this stimulates that glandular function, and it works better.
How about by a show of hands? How many people listening right now are not stressed? Oh, if you put your hand up, you're probably lying.
I don't see any hands going up.
Yeah, I know.
No
So
hands.
if you are stressed, folks, that's why we put this in at the 7th position. It's going to help you with everything from 1 through 6 because it's going to help your daily functionality. Number 8, let's go down to the next level. Now, to me, one of the biggest issues that we're seeing right now with women past the age of 40 is a breakdown of bone health. We're starting to see that on a big scale. We're also seeing a lot of issues with the maintenance of teeth and the strength of teeth. You see these new toothpastes that are out there for the production of enamel and trying to strengthen your teeth, and et cetera, et cetera. And we also see a lot of issues with the stickiness of blood. We're starting to measure things like homocysteine and CRP and blood work, and we're starting to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So actually in the eighth position is actually what we started out for, which was 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. To us, one of the most important cofactors for your immune system. But the beauty of this prep, Joe, is adding the K2, which helps for maintenance of that D level within the human body.
Well, actually, there's 10,000 of D in this one, Len.
That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay.
10,000 of D3 and the vitamin K2. Now, these are two of the most deficient nutrients in our society. I mentioned earlier omega-3s, right? Top of the list. Magnesium is right up there, the most deficient mineral. It's not in the soil anymore. But D3 and K2. Now, most people know recently that D3 is a deficient nutrient, right? We know we're deficient in D3. But how did K2 get into this mix? Anybody know? It got into this mix because of our diet.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are only two places, we started off this conversation with one of them, there are only two places you can get vitamin K2 from your diet. One is grass-fed beef products. Only grass-fed beef products. And unfortunately, beef products from the meat to the cheese to the dairy to the butter are coming from corn and grain-fed cows over the last 40 years. That created the deficiency because when a cow eats grass, that's K1. And its stomach ferments it into K2. When we eat those products from that cow, we get vitamin K2. Now, we said earlier, if you make your own sauerkraut, you'll get vitamin K2 from that as well. It's the fermentation process from K1 to K2. Now, it's deficient, and like Len said, it caused two disease states to really skyrocket because vitamin K2's job in the body is to drive calcium out of the blood into the bones and teeth. So there's what two disease states are now affected? Osteoporosis, number one, right? If you don't have any calcium in your bones, osteoporosis will elevate. But what happens if that calcium stays in the blood? You get that other disease state, atherosclerosis, or hardening of the arteries. They're both on the rise, and they're on the rise because of this deficiency.
And Joe, one of the newest tests that has just come out with cardiologists is called a calcium scoring. It's a CT scan of your chest, where they're actually looking at the calcium that is precipitated on your arteries that are affecting the blood supply to the heart. And they're actually using this as an indication of your risk factors for a heart attack. So again, if you have that in your family tree, or maybe you've had a heart attack or a stroke, or there is something in the genetics, this is another great way to get your vitamin D and your K2 at the same time. Number 9 on the list, as we work our way to the top 10. Joe mentioned it a few seconds ago. If there's one mineral that 95% of us are deplete on, it's magnesium. You know, I have a lot of people that take this, and a lot of people that have said, I don't like magnesium. There's so many different products out there. It tasted terrible, and I can't really absorb it, and it gave me diarrhea, and there's been a whole world of other things. You look at the Albion chelates and the Trax trademarked form of magnesium that's in here, and the fact that it's an effervescent lemonade flavored drink that can be taken at bedtime. If you're looking for something to keep you on the regularity as far as constipation goes. But again, to accentuate bone health, to accentuate heart health, to accentuate brain health, magnesium is one of the most critical nutrient factors that's missing from your diet.
And muscle health as well, because it's going to help relax the muscles. If you know somebody suffering from restless leg that's keeping them up, maybe this is the way you would want to go with that. It'll relax the muscles.
Again, this is the newest form of this. It comes in a capsule also, but this new powder is so easy to take. It actually tastes really good. It's simple. It's bioavailable. It's effervescent, which means it goes through a chemical reaction as you add it to water so that it becomes bioavailable, that when you take it, it's going to get instantly into your system. Great prep. And finally, number 10, and then we're going to go to some of the adjuncts.
This used to be number one, Len.
Well, I could put this number 1 on the list, but I'm going to put it here at number 10 because I got to say this as well. About 70 to 80% of us are having gut issues, if not more. And I had mentioned earlier that the number one reason for trips to Walmart do you know the number one selling prep at Walmart in units, Joe? I found this
The little purple pill?
No, bananas.
Well,
but again, that gets back to the potassium thing in the minerals. But I want to get back to GI Complete. You know, these two preps are my friend. GI Complete is one that offers complete resolve, and I got to say that, I got to watch how I say that, of digestive issues. It coats and gives us the probiotics that are necessary. It gives us enough glutamine. And I really like the zinc form that's in here for actually helping to balance the acid levels within the tummy and to get the digestive tract back where it needs to be. Probzyme, chewable, vegetarian formula that develops and delivers a specific form of probiotics to not only the microbiome of the mouth, but the entire esophagus and the digestive tract. A wonderful way to keep digestion correct.
You know, this 1-2 punch, Len, right here is in these two formulas, you have our full protocol for gut health. And that is you have to repair the mucosa, the lining, the deterioration. When you hear IBS, IBD, leaky gut, Crohn's, all these things are a result of the deterioration of the mucosa in the digestive tract. That's the coating, the outside coating. Hello. And that's the first, Len. But now you repair that first. Why? Because if you don't, everything you do other than that will not have a full effect. If you seal the gut, now the nutrients you take will stay where they should be, and bacteria will not leak in while nutrients leak out. Okay, all these disease states are fixable. Allopathic physicians will say, you got Crohn's, you're going to have it the rest of your life. Well, we can treat it. That's because they don't know how to fix it. Yes, they'll treat it.
They put you on steroids and try to get some relief that way.
Yeah, this will fix the problem. The zinc carnosine that Len mentioned, that's the nutrient in here. This has been shown to actually heal peptic ulcers. And it's that powerful of a healing agent. And there's other nutrients in here to soothe the digestive tract as you're healing. But it is, if you don't do this first, everything else will not be as effective. Now, step 2 is replenish. Probiotics, Probzyme. And it's got a soil-based probiotic in it. Lactospore, patented research, trademarked form. Why is that important? Number 1, it's shelf stable. Okay, because it's soil-based. And number 2, it's nature's original probiotic. Other than what you got from breast milk and the birth canal, this is nature's probiotic. Probzyme didn't stop there. It now adds a full enzyme capacity as well. And we are extremely depleted in our enzyme production as a society. So this has everything you need in these two formulas to heal, replenish, and help you assimilate nutrients to make your gut work for you instead of against you.
Yeah, I've been talking to a couple of the dentist friends that I have, and I've been recommending Probzymes because we have a microbiome in our mouth.
That's right.
And typically, we run into dental issues with receding gum lines and cavities because that microbiome has been disturbed, and it becomes extremely acidic saliva. And by using this, even with your kids, and we chew one of these, it's been proven over time. You chew one of these and make this a once a day for your kids as they're cutting their new teeth. You can cut the risk factors for cavities dramatically. You don't want to be running to the dentist all the time to get your teeth drilled. You know, use these proactively. Or if you're suffering from mouth ulcers or no saliva, those kind of issues that might come with some other autoimmune issues, chewing one of these a day can make an amazing change.
And if you're if you're older, if you're in the senior class, chew them at night before bed. Mm-hmm. Get that good bacteria in your mouth. Because it's chewable, it will coat in there as well. And you'll see a major difference in oral health.
Okay, there's our top 10. Now, I'm going to say this. If you're listening right now and you're trying to build a foundation for yourself, go back, start on number 1 and work your way through. Now, We're going to go into the last category here that we're going to go over. We have a few minutes left, and these are secondary add-ons. These are ones for more specific support. I'm going to go first to Adrenamax. It's on the list. We have Enter DMG 2020, Active B12 Folate, Adrenamax, and Cybezymes. I'm going to go to Adrenamax first. I like the concept that we need some support in entities, herbal entities that help the body to not get over or under excited. So when we look at the role that the adrenal glands play in the production of cortisol in the human body, if we use the right nutrient blends and we come in with these herbal extracts that can help to balance, it's like putting a governor on the adrenal glands. So if we're really adrenally fatigued, I can't last till 10 o'clock and I'm yawning all the time, adding Adrenamax in at a once to twice a day, maybe 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, can help balance what the adrenal glands are doing in their discussion with the brain so that I can keep my focus up. I take a lot more Adrenamax prior to a talk. Like right now, before we came on the air, I took 2 this morning when I got up. I took 2 right before we went on the air here. Why? Just so that the brain can communicate with the mouth and what comes out is clear. So Adrenamax to me can be a great add-on to maybe position 11 or 12, somewhere in there that you can add. Joe, your choice.
Well, I'm going to have to go right at the top. Enter DMG, dimethylglycine. DMG is that miracle molecule, folks, that nobody is talking about but us. Oops. Is that, are you trying to give us a cue, Phil? Oh, okay. Oh, that was Len. Oh, okay. DMG, folks, there's nothing like it. Your body makes it. It's endogenous. So it's safe. Guess what? It is going to help you do one thing that no other nutrient that we know of can do, and that's increase oxygen utilization at the cellular level. And when you do that, guess what happens? You get better blood flow. When you get better blood flow, you get better nutrient delivery. Everything works better when you increase oxygen utilization. Nothing does it like DMG. We have extreme athletes that won't race without this in their pouch because of that burst of oxygen. It's great for mental clarity, but doesn't stop there. It's an immune adaptogen as well. Wherever your immune system needs it, that's where it's going to go. It's also a major factor in the methylation pathway that if this is missing, you will not detoxify properly. There's just so many things that DMG does, and there is no upper limit. They did the tests on this years ago. And to find a limit that might be harmful of this nutrient, they stopped. Yeah. They stopped at 4,000 doses of 125 milligrams. There's no way you could possibly take that much. In fact, it still didn't harm. They just stopped there because they said it's ridiculous. There's no harmful level of this nutrient. This, over the last 3 years, there's not a person walking around that should not be on DMG. Because you've been doing things like wearing face diapers and, chin bibs and all these things. And guess what you were doing? You were cutting off your oxygen. Mm-hmm. Cutting off your oxygen. Hypoxia, hypercapnia. These are oxygen deprivation and carbon dioxide poisoning. They're running rampant. And when people are getting sicker and sicker, guess why? No oxygen. Mm-hmm. What cannot live in an oxygenated environment? Any foreign invader. So what we did was the opposite. We cut our oxygen instead. DMG is a must. Anybody walking around today.
2020 is a prep for your eyes and support of the eyes. I just went in to see my yearly checkup this week, and I see Bausch & Lomb just delivers all of one product to almost every eye doctor in the United States. But again, when you look at it and you compare what's in those preps that your eye doctor is recommending, compared to 2020, you're going to find that particular prep delivers so much more for eye health and stopping macular degeneration. Active B12 and folate, I'll let you go back to that in a second, Joe, but active B12 and folate, I can't tell you how many times we have a person that says, I'm taking iron, but my ferritin level is still low. I can't get those cofactors to go. And the doctor wants to give me some B12. This is the methylated form of B12, which can help the body assimilate the folate on a better basis, get your energy up, and produce healthy red blood cells.
Yeah, I was just going to say 2020, it's a powerful antioxidant. Even if you don't have eye problems, this could be your baseline antioxidant. It's got everything in it, including all the xanthins, and it's got everything in there. The Lutamax that was an ingredient of the year as well a couple of years ago to help with blue light problems that people are experiencing. See, this screen gives off blue light. This screen gives off blue light. Okay, this screen gives off blue light. Any flat screen, including your TV, gives off blue light, and it's harmful to your eyes. These are blue light blockers. Okay, but you've got to limit the amount of blue light, and you can do it internally as well with 2020.
And Cybezymes is the all-inclusive baseline enzyme prep for those that just may be having some digestion, bloating, gas, etc. It is a wonderful formulation that can easily help you to assimilate your nutrient factors better, help you to digest your food better. It can be taken with meals, before meals, after meals, but does a great job of helping you to assimilate and digest. Joe, there it is.
Wow.
Top 10 with secondary add-ons.
Surprised we got through it in an hour, Len.
It's a lesson that I think we all need. Go back and listen to it again. It is the way to build a foundation, folks. If you're really serious about your health, and take advantage of the sale. And Joe, give us the sale one more time.
Yeah, I mean, the sale's going on through the end of the month. At 30% off every one of the formulas you just saw, the entire Nutritional Frontiers line. Some of the other lines, some are 20% off, but there's discounts on everything in the store. And so come on down or call in your order or email, not email, but go to our website, wowpgh.com, or call us 412-922-9355. Do something. Come on down. Get the gift of health. We've got some great stocking stuffers. We've got sample travel sizes of so many of our formulas that are perfect for stocking stuffers for your family, for your kids that are going to go back to school and eat those crap lunches. Make sure they have Probezyme with them. Every single child that eats at school should have Probezyme with them. So we've got everything you need to give the gift of health this holiday season. So we hope to see you there. Len, always a pleasure. Merry Christmas.
Joe,
Buon Natale. Buon Natale. Buon Natale.
Talk to you soon.